Hi, welcome to my YouTube channel Bodhispeak. For a change, today let's talk about a more cerebral topic. We all have heard about several geniuses in their respective fields. What is it that drives them? What makes them different from the ordinary folks like you and me? At the other end of the spectrum, we also have heard of people losing their mental balance and being termed as madmen. What is it that leads them to the brink of insanity? Guess what? Scientists have established that there is a very fine line between genius and insanity, and in fact, they share the same genes. The relationship between genius and insanity is indeed blurred. Not everybody who is a genius has a streak of insanity in them, and vice versa. Not every insane person has the potential to be a genius. Psychologists have found that the gene neurogelin 1 is vital for brain development and creativity. A detailed study done by researchers at Semmelweis University in Hungary concluded that there was a clear link between neurogelin 1 and creativity. At the same time, a variant of this gene is also associated with mental illnesses like depression, schizophrenia, and bipolar disorder. Perhaps this explains why geniuses like Vincent van Gogh and Sylvia Plath displayed destructive behavior. There have been a few geniuses who struggled with their own idiosyncrasies which bordered on craziness. So let's take a quick look at some of these great geniuses who had a strange streak in them. We all have heard of the Greek mathematician Pythagoras, who gave us the Pythagoras formula that has helped mankind solve many mathematical and engineering problems. He also explained that some natural phenomena can be explained mathematically, which paved the way for physics to be studied as a form of science. However, you may not have heard about Pythagoreanism, a religion that he founded. Pythagoreanism's commandments included some real strange ones, like 1. Beans are evil, so under no circumstances should we eat beans. 2. Smooth out all bodily indents on bed sheets and pillows. 3. Do not step over a crossbar or walk on highways. 4. Do not let swallows nest under the roof. Lord Byron was a renowned English poet of the late 18th century. He was considered as second only to Shakespeare in English poetry, and published his first profound poetic work at the tender age of 14, and his work was renowned for its wit and versatility. When Byron arrived in Cambridge for higher studies, he was forced to send his dog back as it was against the university rules. He painstakingly read through the rules to check if there were any animals that were not expressly forbidden and found that the rules did not mention bears. Soon enough, he was terrorizing his teachers and fellow students with his pet bear. What more, he even tried to get the bear a fellowship. In the later years, he virtually converted his residence into a zoo with horses, large dogs, monkeys, cats, peacocks, eagles, crows, and guinea fowls roaming around his house. The great multi-talented Italian of the 15th and 16th century, Michelangelo, was a painter, sculptor, architect, and poet par excellence. His painting, God Creates Adam, remains one of the most celebrated works of art. Besides, he sculpted the statue of David and was the architect of St. Peter's Basilica. As a poet of the High Renaissance, he exerted a great influence on the development of Western art. But you would be shocked to know that he ignored some of the basic requirements of self-maintenance. Not only did he bathe very rarely, changing of clothes was even rarer. He would sleep fully dressed, including the shoes. His assistant once complained that on one occasion he had gone so many days without taking his shoes off that when he eventually removed his shoes, his skin came off, like a snake shedding its skin. Michelangelo hated all kinds of social interaction. He would rarely speak with people and at times would walk away mid-conversation. People speculated him of suffering from autism, which possibly explains his total obsessive focus on his work to the exclusion of everything else. Abraham Lincoln, the great emancipator who led the US as its president during its Civil War from 1861 to 1865, accomplished a lot before his assassination. He preserved the Union after the war, abolished slavery, strengthened the federal government, and modernized the US economy. It is said that Lincoln suffered from severe depression for most of his life. According to one of his biographers, letters left by some of his friends referred to him as the most depressed person they have ever seen. On at least one occasion, Lincoln was so overcome by melancholy that he collapsed. Isaac Newton arguably was one of the greatest scientists of all time. Besides his single most important discovery that explained gravity to mankind, he also invented calculus and built the first reflecting telescope among several scientific achievements. Newton suffered from huge ups and downs, indicating bipolar disorders combined with psychotic tendencies. He also struggled to connect with people, placing him in the autism spectrum. Several of his letters were filled with delusions which medical historians feel indicated that he suffered from schizophrenia. There have been several others who have left a mark on the world through their path-breaking ideas, works of art, discoveries or writings despite going through a lot of personal struggles. Prominent among them are Winston Churchill, the great leader and the former British Prime Minister, Charles Dickens, the poet and the author, Leo Tolstoy, the novelist, Kurt Gödel, the mathematician and logician, Charles Darwin, the naturalist and geologist, and Ludwig van Beethoven, the composer and pianist. Many a time, geniuses have come up with ideas that were ridiculed, scorned at, or written off, but they have believed in their convictions and seen their idea through and changed the course of history. Who can forget about the statement that Steve Jobs made when Apple was about to introduce the iPad as a product that was neither a laptop computer nor a smartphone, but something in between. Jobs was told by some of his advisors that a competitor had done extensive research and found that there was not much of a market for his pet project. Jobs never believed in market research and just turned around and said, "People don't know what they want until we show them." And the rest, as they say, is history. Well friends, I hope this has given you some insight into a genius's mind and the trials and tribulations that they go through. It is not just about a stroke of inspiration that makes them world changers, nor is it about all the accolades that they receive for their work. In fact, in most cases, they do not covet all the plaudits they receive. It is primarily their passion in their field that brings out the genius in them. I hope you have liked this video. If so, kindly give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. And you can also subscribe to the channel here. I will see you soon and thanks for watching.